One with nature.
What are my orders?
All is accounted for.
Time to go.
All hail! Born of icy frost. Rest and rebuild!
Time to go.
Ad Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions?
Commissions, huh? Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage. And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
I see. It appears that you're not interested in this commission. In that case, please go to Port Ormos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time volunteering at the local orphanage.
Hey, that's not any better.
I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions.
Paimon's gotta ask. Just who exactly has been submitting these commissions?
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often. Ah, so it's Nahida. Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you get into her head? From when she said... so it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting up, Nahida? Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways. And I even had a really, really long dream. It was another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival, except it was a happy one. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda. You know, Nahida, maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zero's festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to... Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you both looking at me like that? Wait! No! We aren't pitying you! That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homianis haven't allowed any visitors after the festival. Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsul. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning. Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sub-Zeros. So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. As for how we should pull that off... Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little... Let's continue our chat here. Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nate? Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts. No way, that's too risky. You mean it'd be too easy to get caught? No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. A single doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own selfish goals. How is that any different from what the sages are doing? That's a good point. Spoken like the god of Sumeru. We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals, any rash move could tip them off. After all, every person in Sumeru City is one of their hostages. I've already tried that, but all the key members of the Academia, even the core of 30 guards, it seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course. Have you already caught the sage's attention?
I'm guessing not yet. But distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid attention to the urban legends about me. In any case, I probably can't take over their minds directly.
Are we really out? Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have something in mind, right? Don't keep us in suspense. Spill the
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning of a planning session will give more weight to the...
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have to use that kind of gimmick to make us take your ideas seriously.
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, and if I can't get ordinary people involved, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to side with the sages.
You're saying we should recruit a spy? Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Al-Haytham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing stuff behind the Academia's back. They probably...
Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that female sculptor?
Setaria. Paimon remembers now. Isn't she? We ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. You could eat. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilou.
I've always liked observing all kinds of people. She was born in the desert and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the Academia, and also gave her the opportunity to...
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries.
The name Setaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky soon after. The star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which the star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
From the sound of it, Setaria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the Academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away from her problem.
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny her part in their schemes anymore. Right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can also use it as an opportunity to redeem herself. From my past observations, Setaria will take a day off from the Academia every 10 days to do some shopping in the city. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. Back to prepare. Let's go check out some of her favorite spots, and have a quick chat with a few...
Paimon coming in! Paimon coming in! Is this level okay?
This should be Setaria's favorite fortune-telling spot.
So should we ask the fortune teller about Setaria? No, I already have enough information on Sataria. The most important thing now is for you to pay attention to the vendor's talking style and key Talking style and key?
My poor lost lambs. Have you become troubled over your fates? The divine voice of wisdom often echoes between mine ears. If thou be blessed today by the gods, I need...
Huh? Really? Nahida, you've been whispering things to her?
Shh! My friend here has some doubts regarding his future. Can we get a fortune reading for him?
Of course. Uh-huh. It would seem that Harut and Marut are quite wary of you. Perhaps, at some time in the past, you have somehow offended the gods.
Only mocking the god of Animo, questioning the lord of Geo's financial savviness, and brawling with the god of Electro. Do those count?
Oh, nothing. Go on, pick an aspect for her to divine.
Love prospects? The gods have spoken. One who is fated to cross your path will appear on... Huh? So many people... Harut! Marut! Did you two spoil my divination? I've never read a fortune so absurd.
Actually, Paimon thinks this is probably the most accurate fortune-telling you've ever done.
I admit that the orientation of today's celestial matrix is suboptimal.
Is that so? Well, that can't be helped.
If you were to bring some food offerings for Harut and Marut on your next visit, perhaps they could help you reverse the wheels of fate.
Is this another one of Sataria's favorite? Yep. It belongs to a king. His father helped Sataria a lot when she first moved to Samari City, so she still comes by when I start talking with him. Listen carefully to the details of her conversation.
Ah, dear customers. Would you like to look at some...
We caught wind of your great craftsmanship, so we specifically came to take a look.
Oh, I recognize you. Aren't you Miss Catherine from the Adventurers Guild? Sounds like I'm in for some big business.
Speaking of, where did you learn this trade?
I suppose you could say it all started with my dad. He's a mason by trade, but I picked up an interest in clay while apprenticing for him. After that, I began making pottery by myself in secret. And I simply changed trades when my works turned out well. Although it's a pity that I'm no longer making much use of the knowledge provided to me by the Akasha.
That's nice. You're making a living doing something you love.
So is your father still working as a mason?
Oh no, not anymore. A few years back, he fell from a roof and broke his leg. Since he had already saved enough Mora over all these years, he's just enjoying the retired life in Port Ormos nowadays.
I see. We wish him peace and happiness in his retirement. I'll have someone in charge of logistics at the guild come by another day for some goods. We'll leave you to it. Take care now.
No problem. Rest easy, all our goods are sure to meet your every need.
This should be our final stop. Sataria's always thinking of this restaurant when she's working at the academia. So she always comes by whenever she's out at... Nahida, you've really thought of it. It's my duty to protect Samari's citizens.
Hi there. I feel like I've seen you down by the docks before. Huh? Sorry, if I recall, you were having a discussion with someone about shipbuilding at the time.
Ah, That's right! I've always been really interested in feats of marine engineering. After all, I grew up in Liyue Harbor and spent my entire childhood staring at the ships going in and out of the port. I came to Sumeru to study, but failed to make it into the academia due to my lack of talent. But I'm still discussing all kinds of problems with different scholars, and I'm continuing to study and perform research from the restaurant's basement. I'm sure I'll get to the academia after the—
What an admirable spirit for learning. Amazing.
Sure, but you...
So this restaurant has a basement as well? Huh. First I've heard of it.
That's right. It's not usually open to patrons. Most of the time, employees use it for breaks or to hold private events.
I see. Guess that makes sense. Well, good luck with your studies, Miss Chishan.
Thank you so much. As long as I can make it into the academia.
Time to go.
So, was that everybody?
Mm-hmm. 3 familiar faces should be enough for Sitaria.
What's the point of all the information we've collected? Nahida, you still haven't told us how you're playing.
Sitaria is already used to avoiding her problems, so we must find a way to break through her. I remember that you mentioned that the Eremites in Port Ormos are all making a fuss about the upcoming resurrection of the Scarlet King. Although it's all just a boatload of nonsense, the faith of her homeland may turn out to be Sitaria's soft spot.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. You want to take advantage of the guilt Sitaria feels about her homeland. Although she knows she should return home to help the people of the desert, all she's done is conspire with the sages. So, how...
Well, the Scarlet King is long gone, and Sitaria is also too smart to fall for any simple tricks. If we simply engaged her under the guise of the Scarlet King's believers, she would definitely be wary of us, and we may not get anywhere. But if we were to borrow some of her close acquaintances to talk with her, her reaction would probably be...
So, you mean you're going to possess those people we just talked to?
Yep. Possess them through the Akasha. Imply that they've already converted to the faith of the Scarlet King, and then convey our made-up will of the Scarlet King. As long as everything goes smoothly, we'll get through to Sitaria for sure. She'll...
So that's how you're going to use all the info we collected on these people. It's so that you won't slip up and break form. Possessing them will only work...
Exactly. So, best of luck with
Huh? Best of luck? But we don't know...
That's no problem at all. I'll just share all their senses with you once I've possessed them. As long as you're also wearing an Akasha terminal, the effect will basically...
Huh. That is pretty convenient. But why does he have...
Although I've been observing humans for a while, I've never been good...
You're not wrong. It's always been painfully obvious whenever you try to pass...
If it was at all possible, I would have preferred to leave these people alone. But seeing how things are now,
Yeah, don't beat yourself up over it. We're only doing this to help everyone, and we'll only be borrowing them for a little while anyway.
Alright, then...
Here she comes. Sitaria's here.
Let's quietly follow her. Once she starts talking to her acquaintances, as for how we'll sway her to our side, I'll leave that to you.
Paimon's starting to feel... Looks like they've already started talking. Let's find a hide...
That's right. You really can't force anything when it comes to love. And besides, everyone around me has a very different background and outlook. Are you still listening to me, Nabia?
Oh, of course I'm listening. You were talking about troubles with your love life, right?
Okay then. You just seemed a little distracted for a moment there. Strange. Your cats seem pretty worked up. Is something... I always thought they were quiet, happy kitties. Oh, what are their names again? Are you sure?
Well, actually they have many names. Which names I use...
Huh, I see. I imagine that must be hard for the kitties, too.
So, which fortune do you want me to read for you today?
I'd like to get another reading on my love prospects, but to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like I've been
A mess?
Well, could you do a reading on how long it'll take me to finish my current project at work? I really just want to get it over.
I hear you. No problem at all. The gods will reveal the truth. The gods are asking, Setaria, why haven't you gone home?
Why haven't I gone home? Do the gods really know everything I've been thinking about?
Sitaria, why don't you just go home? It's a demand now instead of a question. The gods seem to be truly upset.
I'm sorry. I know I failed the gods. Please pass on my most sincere apologies, and if I may ask, Nabia, is there a specific god who's speaking to you right now?
What an inconsiderate and naive question. The god who is speaking to me is, of course, the wisest and mightiest of all.
The Scarlet King? No wonder he would make such a demand of me. Oh, wait a second. Even though news of the Scarlet King's resurrection has been spreading like wildfire, it's all just a misinformation campaign from the academia. How can the Scarlet King still exist in real life?
What insolence! I am the Scarlet King's most loyal believer. Do you wish to refute his...
Oh, no. As a child of the desert, I am only reveling in his power upon learning that his divine glory has touched even this city. I will think very carefully about his demand of me. I'm sorry. I must go now.
Wait!
Oh, she just ran off in a hurry. She looked pretty upset. Well done. Sitaria didn't seem to suspect anything amiss. To have something she's been trying desperately to avoid show up out of nowhere and berate her, that must have shaken her to the core. Aw, Nahida, it seems like you understand human... All I know are some abstract Harabata theories. In any case, my time with you has shown a lot of them to be utterly... Anyway, enough of that. Let's hurry and catch up to Sitaria. She's out of games now, right on.
It's okay. I just got caught up in something. Oh, actually, didn't you ask me to help you look for work? What kind of work were you looking for again? Gardening? But don't you hate everything to do with plants? I still remember getting mad at you for secretly throwing away the bonsai that I gave you as a present.
You see, a friend told me that the secret to self-improvement...
Fair enough. I didn't think that was something you would consider. Speaking of, how's he doing? Is he feeling any better? Oh, that's good to hear. I have been thinking a lot about him. If I could get some more time off... Actually, while we're talking about him, is he still
Yeah, he's been retired there for...
If you could find the time, please write him a letter. Please pass on that recently, faith in the Scarlet King has taken root in Port Ormos, and has begun to spread across... He has a quick temper, and has always been a devout follower of the Dendro Archon. I don't want him to get into a fight with those Scarlet King believers because of a difference in beliefs.
Oh? So, who are you siding with in all of this? The academia? I'm so jealous of you. You were born a child of the desert. Yet you chose to betray the Scarlet King, and now you spend all your...
Akeem! You don't mean... You've also become a believer of...
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise Scarlet King? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't...
Can't pick a side? Me?
Whoa! Paimon had no idea you'd be so good at this! You really zeroed in on the issue and put it right in front of her. It might feel a bit overwhelming for Sitaria. But once everything is over, I'll be sure to pay her a visit to her mind and explain everything.
So, Shishan, have you noticed anything weird? Like, as if someone was trying to preach to you about something?
Oh, right. Speaking of strange things, I celebrated the Sub-Zerus festival so many times that I lost count.
Wait, how could you be aware of that? That should be impossible. Nothing in the report indicated anything like that.
Are you still failing to realize that the Academia's lowly tricks could never deceive all of Sumeru's citizens?
Shishan, don't tell me that you've converted to the Scarlet King.
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer. In reality, shouldn't you be the one who is ashamed? You, who works side by side with the Academia, and—
Please, please stop!
Even now, Satari is still trying to run from her problems. She can no longer justify everything to herself. Hey, she's trying to talk to the guards! What should we do? This is the most important part of all.
Mercenary, you're a member of the Corps of 30, correct? Please help me pass a message to the Matcha right away. The situation in the city is getting out of control.
Please, try to remain calm, miss. Tell me what's happening.
Heretics are infiltrating the city, and they've already converted many residents to their side.
Heretics? What kind of heresy are you talking about?
The Scarlet King! Many people I know have suddenly started believing in him, but he's long dead.
Miss Zetaria, nothing is—
You know my name?
The Scarlet King is immortal, and all who defy him will one day pay the price. You must face the truth, Zetaria. You tread a treacherous path, and the longer you ignore it, the tighter the Academia's grasp on you will become, and the deeper you will be ensnared. Child of the Scarlet King, never forget that the desert that belongs to you lies elsewhere.
What's so strange about becoming a believer of the wise Scarlet King? In fact, aren't you the strange one? The one who still can't pick a side?
What an absurd question. You make it sound like I should be ashamed for becoming a believer of the Scarlet King.
Setaria, why haven't you gone home?
It seems that no matter where I run, I only keep finding more. I've also been running from my guilt this whole time. Guilt over my part in the Sage's plans. And from it. But no matter how much I may try to ignore or get rid of it, my guilt always comes back.
You won't necessarily lose your research opportunities by facing the truth. Besides, did you really want to conduct your research while carrying such heavy—
How do you know me so well? Are you truly just a believer of the Scarlet King?
That's not important. The important thing is to pass judgment on the Academia and its sages, and to correct their mistakes. If you could provide some assistance in this matter, perhaps you could—
I've actually never believed in the gods, but I've always believed in serendipity. Your appearance must be a fated opportunity for me to get out of this wretched situation. Please tell me, what can I do for you?
How much do you know about the sages'
I was just one of the designers for the massed dream harvest scheme, which is what happened around the Sub-Zero. But I know very little about the full scope of the overall project. I'd assume that only staff with the highest clearance would have access to those confidential documents. I've just been working to meet the Grand Sage's specified requirements. However, there's something that's been really bothering me. I heard that a scholar who was previously expelled has returned to the city, and even the sages are still quite wary of him.
To fight against the Academia, we will need to figure out the nature and the purpose of their work. Is there a way for us to get access to the confidential documents you mentioned?
It should be possible if we're willing to take some risks. After all, I'm an assistant to the Grand Sage, and I've been working on many tasks outside of the project. One thing, though, I won't be able to transfer the documents to you through the Akasha once I get my let me see. Let's use the most primitive method. Send someone to pick up the document.
The Academia entrance. Wouldn't that be too conspicuous?
Don't worry about that. I assure you, this won't... I'm only suggesting this location because it'll draw more scrutiny for me to leave the academia again. It'll be safest for me to distract the guards long enough to hand you the document.
All right, I trust you.
So, if I were to successfully complete this task...
That'll depend on the judgment of the Dendro Archon.
The Dendro Archon. That's right. Her people are the ones we have endangered. As the God of Wisdom, she's also the one responsible for judging and guiding the scholars. Maybe it's time for me to find a god to believe in.
Just as Nahida predicted, we've managed to bring Sataria to our... The Traveler's execution was ingenious. Well, now that we've made plans to meet again tomorrow evening, all we can do is pray for Sataria's mission to go off without a hitch. Pray? But if we're going to pray to the gods, aren't we just praying to you? God of Wisdom and Guardian of the Scholars? No. The truth is the true Guardian of Scholars. I've always believed that. Anyway, let's... That's right. I suppose I'm the other Catherine in your mind. Shh! We're on a secret mission tonight, so we need to protect... Yep, Paimon's right. We cannot fully rule out that if something were to happen, after all, the academia should still be unable to confirm the existence of my conscious... Yep, exactly. Just what Paimon was thinking. Anyway, enough about that. Let's just make sure to be on our guard. Off? What do you feel is off? It's the middle of the night. Of course it's quiet. You're not getting paranoid, are you? No, I think he's right. It really is. If you look around, there seems to be fewer people on the streets. I'm not sure if this is the... Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe Sataria figured out a way to not only distract the guards, but also to get everyone to go to sleep early, just so we can exchange... I also can't quite figure out why things feel a little off. But now that we're here, let's go ahead and meet her. Well, regardless, as long as you're here with us,
Time to go.
There really aren't many people out right now. Let's hope it'll be this quiet in front of the academia, and that Sataria managed to distract all the guards.
The triumphant hero returns at last. And to a rather spectacular welcome, even if I do say so myself.
You're the outcast, expelled from the academia.
Indeed I am. Although these days they tend to call me the Doctor. If you're looking for your researcher friend, she has already been taken into confinement. With some basic caution, she could have discovered the listening device on her person. Clearly, she lacks the degree of rigor expected of a true scholar.
The people of Sumeru City! What have you done to them?
I simply made some minor adjustments to their Akasha terminals. Now they can deposit information directly into the subconscious. As you can see, all these lovely people now believe this traveler is a hero who has just saved the world. My experiment is a success. And now it seems they can no longer hold back their sheer adoration.
Oh no! What should we do? These are all just regular people! Leave now. You need to get out of here. But that guy's a Fatui Harbinger! We can't just leave you here! Nor can I abandon the people of Sumeru! Don't worry. We'll meet again outside of the city.
I see. You appear to have overridden their mental faculties with your own consciousness. To possess such a powerful mind, you must be the god of wisdom.
This should be far enough. Paimon needs to catch her breath. Is Nahida going to be okay? We only made it out because of her. Paimon wasn't counting on running into a new Harbinger here, let alone such a high-ranking one. That guy was number 2. He called himself the Doctor. Remember, Tainari told us about him. Sataria did say that and that even the sages are wary of him. Yep, sounds like she must have been talking about the Doctor. Yeah, now that the Doctor's in the picture, we're no longer just dealing with the But what are the Fatui after this time? Another Gnosis? Yeah, things would be a lot easier with Nahida's help. Nahida said we'll meet again outside of the city. But we can't just keep waiting around, right? You mean... Oh, right! Wasn't he invited by the sages to work on some project, even though he turned it down at the time? He might still know something. There's no time to lose. Let's go to Gandharvaville.
Time to go. Time to go.
Hold it right there. A blonde-haired traveler and a floating fairy. We've got you, all right. Take a look around.
Are you mercenaries from the Corps?
Corps of 30? We're nothing like those government lapdogs who don't... We are an elite brigade that commands the highest commission rate in all of Sumeru. We're here on the orders of a client known only as the Outcast.
The Outcast? An outcast from the But why wouldn't the Doctor just send the Fatui after us?
Still wasting time on idle chit-chat. We'll shut you up.
You're on track.
Following orders.
No touching! Quietly.
Into the wind. As one with wind and cloud. Busted.
Hold the line! Ah! It isn't over yet! Here comes reinforcements!
The wind knows it.
Access denied.
You want this one?
That was pretty rough. Is that what elite mercenaries are like? Yeah, looks like we'll have to... But this doctor guy seems like a pretty tough opponent. He knew exactly where to set up an ambush. Did he... going up against smart people is tough. Where do you... Holly! It's nice to see...
To be honest, I'm not doing too well. My Elazar has been progressed. As a result, Master Tainari is taking me off the patrol schedule. He won't...
Oh, Holly! Speaking of Tainari, did he go off on patrol? We're here to talk to him.
Oh, Master Tainari? You just left the Avidia Forest a little while ago.
He left? But isn't Tainari always saying that he never wants to...
I thought it was weird too. Master Tainari always prioritizes his work as a forest watcher above everything. He almost never leaves his post. He left... No, I only found out that he left through a message he left behind. He also made sure to delegate all his tasks using a schedule. To leave in such a hurry? I'd guess he had something Master Tainari originally studied in the Amorta Darshan of the Academia, and Pardis Di is something like the Amorta's research base. Many rare shrubs... I know that before he became a forest watcher, Master Tainari once spent a long time conducting research at Pardis Di.
A research base, huh? Gotta wonder what kind of research Tainari just decided to work on all of his head. Oh, we don't have a lot of time, so let's go look for him at Pardis Di.
Don't worry. I'm fine. I'm used to living with Elazar.
Got it. Will do. Wait! Look who it is! Thank goodness you're okay. We were so worried about you. Hey, this was supposed to be a touching reunion, but you're...
Actually, it's very smart of the Traveler to be wary of me right now. After all, the Doctor has shown that his technology can apparently... Plus, it's not like you could have known what happened after we split up, and I was facing the Doctor, but even a pool of stagnant water after a torrential storm can occasionally pass...
Paimon feels like only the real Nahida could come up with such an obscure analogy.
Huh? But I wasn't trying to win your trust or anything. All I wanted was to...
Well, we understand that point now. Please, Nahida, tell us...
When you left, I was still in the middle of restoring everyone's minds. Thankfully, when the Doctor mentioned depositing information into the subconscious, he didn't mean engraving instead. He did something closer to creating hallucinations. That was still within my power. Luckily, I managed to finish my restorations and mind jump away from him just as he was about to capture me.
What a relief. The Doctor sure pulled out some hidden cards, but good thing we had Nahida with us.
I wouldn't be relieved just yet. I gave away my true identity when I restored everyone's minds, which means we've lost it also. The Doctor is already an expert at modifying Akasha terminals. Maybe it's only a matter of time until he captures my consciousness and...
Would that mean you'd no longer be able to jump between minds? Then how do we stop him? He's still at the Academia, so it's possible he already started messing with the Akasha. Ugh, it feels like he's toying with us. Plus, the doctor's combat ability alone is apparently enough to make him worthy of—
We shouldn't give up hope just yet. Let's try to find another way to attack this problem.
Actually, Nahida, how did you know we were trying to get to Party Stii? Have you been waiting—
Yes, I have. I can see the Traveler's elemental energy, so I deduced your destination by looking at the direction you were moving in. You didn't come here for sightseeing, right? Did you—
We're looking for a scholar we know. His name is Tainari, and the sages once tried to reach out to him. Why don't you come and—
Okay, let's just hope we won't get him into trouble.
Traveler?
The voice! It's Hypatia!
Ah, what a pleasant surprise! It's so nice.
Who's this?
She's a scholar we met in the Avidia Forest. When we last saw each other, she was still training in the...
Oh, I see.
That's right, we're old friends. You've come at just the right time. Ever since I've come...
Hypatia, you're way too excited about this. Actually, for you to leave the Avidia... Wait, no. Did you already finish your training and reach part...
What do you think? My consciousness has already managed to make contact...
You did it? Congratulations!
It's so exhilarating to share this sublime joy with others at long last. When my consciousness made contact with the gods. Ah, what a supreme and unparalleled...
That sounds incredible!
Oh, all right. Remember? I promised to help you understand what you saw from Irminsul once I gained deeper... My current self has not only gained true insight, but I can even help you establish a direct connection to the consciousness of the
You can do that?
I've never heard of anything like that, but if you want to give it a try...
Hold on. I brought some Spirit Borneal with me. This is still...
We're using...
All right now. Hold my hand. I'll help you establish a...
Okay.
Ready?
It took 3 betrayals for me to finally understand. The world is just an elaborate tapestry of lies. My fury will never be quelled. The first to betray me was a god. My creator. My mother. Valuing strength above all, she saw no worth in me and I was discarded. The second was a human. My family. My friend. Consumed by fear, he saw me as an abomination. The third was one exactly like me. A hope for the future. A fledgling barely out of the nest. Powerless before his mortality, he broke his promise to me. Humans, they can't be trusted. And the gods fill me with pure loathing. So I said good riddance. I denounce the world and laugh in its face. My chest will never again be defiled by worldly filth. I will scrub away every last trace of human emotion. Then it will be empty, a blank slate, and ready to receive a supreme gnosis, brimming with pure divinity. There is no need to fear. The pain will be brief. Your era is coming to an end.
actually just see the Balladeer's memories? Everything matches, but how is he connected to the divine consciousness that Hypatia was talking about?
You saw it, right? You felt it, right? Such a majestic god! Alas, shame. If only that which beats within my chest wasn't a filthy mortal heart. Oh, great and merciful.
Do you understand now? I'm afraid this is no periporno life, but rather...
Ah! You! Why are you so mean to me? Why is everyone hiding? I found divine wisdom. Shouldn't I receive praise and honor? Haven't I uncovered that light in the
Hypatia?
That's how I always thought everything should be. Wait, have I already lost my mind?
Wait, something isn't right.
Oh, the Traveler's back?
Nahida was controlling your body for a while. It seemed like she jumped over to you as an emergency measure right before the Catherine puppet was destroyed. After that, Tainari heard the commotion and came over. He helped us defeat the mercenaries and then he ran with us all the way here. What? You swapped places? You mean your consciousness also went into Nahida's body? Wait, then where is Nahida's consciousness?
I never imagined that an individual's consciousness could be transferred around like this. Had I not seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it. I don't think this can be it. Also, while we were running, the consciousness in your body told me to pass on a message. She said, "The doctor has found a way to trap my consciousness, so I can't journey with you anymore. But even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out illusions and lies."
Oh no! Nahida's trapped in the sanctuary of Surasthana for... Was that message all she left for us? It's pretty vague. Oh, that makes sense! Since the doctor captured her, she won't be able to say anything without him knowing. She's being even in a moonless night, a shower of starlight can still drown out Paimon knows the moon illusions and lies are from that alchemical divination at the Sub-Zero's festival. Didn't Nahida use a starlight analogy before? It had something to do with Sataria. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Huh. But she isn't with us anymore. Think we'll...
Paimon, you said Sanctuary of Surasthana. Does this mean that this Nahida you're talking about, The consciousness who was occupying the trap...
Your guess is correct, but the situation's a bit complicated, so...
That's all right. A scholar's curiosity doesn't need to be appeased right away. As for the complicated nature of the situation, safe to say I have witnessed that for... I've spent some time with you, and it looks like the Dendro Archon's also on your side, so...
Thank you, Tainari. Oh, actually, we came here to ask you a question. What do you know about the project that the sages have...
Ah, that. While I was indeed invited to join that project, the sages were always secretive about its scope and goals. So I eventually declined. All I know is that that project has something to do with the restoration of Irminsul.
Huh? Did you see something when you were in Nahida's body? What?
Do you have any evidence? So that's what happened. That explains why Hypatia's symptoms were different from those of the other scholars who went mad. It's because she made contact with the consciousness of a new...
Tainari, did you leave the Avidia Forest because of Hypatia?
I did. I noticed Hypatia's mental anomalies, but since her symptoms were rather atypical, I secretly took her to party. If I didn't take action, Hypatia would have already been taken by the Matra to the desert, doomed to a life of exile. Now that you mention it, I knew the academia has never thought particularly, but I still didn't expect them to do something as arrogant as creating a new god. Looks like I made the right decision by not accepting their invitation. The Doctor and the Balladeer. We have 2 Fatui Harbingers in Sumeru. From your description, I don't think they've completed their project. They're maced, but then... what is the connection between creating a new god?
Yeah, it feels like we're still nowhere close to figuring out the sage's goals. Right, we've pretty much gone over everything we need to know, so we should head out.
I'll stay here for now. I still want to try a few more things to help Hypatia. If you're planning to go into the desert, start by heading for Caravan. Come find me here if there's any...
Thanks, Tainari. Hopefully Hypatia will feel better soon. We're off then. We finally made to Caravan Rebot. It's pretty lively here. So, just past this wall is the desert, huh? Oh, wow. Paimon remembers hearing people call this the Wall of Samiel. It's made to block sandstorms from the outside. Oh, if it's this tall...
Enough gawking. Come on, follow me.
Huh?
Over here.
Oh, Haytham went that way! Let's hurry up and follow him. Wonder what he's up to.
What the... Where did he go? How did we lose him?
More Eremite mercenaries? Who are they working for this time? Anyway,
You were too careless. You should have noticed those hopeless amateurs trailing you a long time ago. There's no need to thank me. I've never cared to keep track of personal favors. All I did was correct a mistake I happened to come across. It's a habit I developed at the academia.
You really gave Paimon a scare, Haytham. We never thought we'd run into you here. Last time we met at Port Ormos, didn't you say you were going back to the academia? Wait, don't tell Paimon.
Oh, so you've already landed yourselves on the academia's hit list. I can't say that However, had I wished to turn you over to the academia, don't you think you'd already be the Eremites' honored guests by now?
Oh, right. You do have a point.
I have no interest in running errands for that project. As a scholar, I've always belonged to the camp that promotes researcher autonomy. And these days, you're more fascinating than anything the sages can offer. Not quite. To tell you the truth, I'm still investigating the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Unfortunately, everyone says the capsule originated in the desert and was eventually moved to Port Ormos. If I am to get to the bottom of this, I must understand how the capsule first came to be. Which brings me back to you and why you're so interesting. The leader of Ain al-Ahmar used the Divine Knowledge Capsule right in front of you, and upon seeing him, your expression became perplexed, and you were lost in thought for— To have that kind of reaction, I think you must have realized something. Are you interested at all in sharing what—
Alhaitham, you really have a ridiculous eye for detail. What kind of person even notices or remembers stuff like that?
So that's your answer. Well, I do work for the academia after all. But that does prove you do have some undisclosed information about the Divine Knowledge Capsule. Am I right? No matter. Rather than simply learning the answers from you, I'd still prefer to investigate on my own. Speaking of, you two are—
That's right! We have the same plan as you! But we don't really have any concrete goals at the moment.
Then I'd suggest starting with Aru Village. It's the largest settlement in the desert, so it'll probably have more resources and intel than anywhere else. Well, would you like to head there together?
It's always better to travel with someone you know. Let's go!
Time to go. Into the wind.
Quietly now.
Allow me!
A fateful offering.
Another test subject.
No touching!
One with nature.
Don't count that. Have a little taste.
Busted. Gutsy.
Into the wind.
Test subject.
Smile to my face.
Rest, rebuild!
Time to go. Follow the wind.
Before us lies Aru Village, the safe haven of the desert folk.
Whoa, this landscape is really something else. What a cool...
Sino. Unless my memory fails me, we have barely spoken 2 words to each other before now at the Academia. Would you care to enlighten me as to when and how I invited the General Mahamatra's wrath?
Al-Haytham, do not think you can escape my judgment just because you managed to escape my attack.
Judgment? So that's how you'd characterize your actions here, is it? Or would elimination perhaps be a more accurate description?
Had I used my full strength, not even this traveler would have been able to stop me. Though styled like an assassination, I sought only to ensure that my target would be unable to flee or resist. Standard practice
seemed to me more like your own personal touch.
Who is that, Al-Haytham?
Yes. General Mahamatra Sino, head of all the Matra at the Academia. He's a formidable hunter, and the ultimate nightmare for any who have committed academic crimes.
You seem to have placed a lot of trust in Al-Haytham, to the point of blocking an attack for him. If I were you, I'd never choose to side with him. I wouldn't believe a single word that comes out of his mouth. I have been pursuing this scribe for a long time. I urge you, stand back and do not seek to defend him any longer. Otherwise, there will be consequences.
Has Al-Haytham done something wrong? Paimon doesn't think he's as bad as you've made him out to be.
I won't waste my breath explaining things. Al-Haytham, I saw it during our fight. Take it out. The divine knowledge capsule you're hiding on your person. Unless you want me to retrieve it for myself.
Very perceptive of you. Nothing escapes a Matra's senses.
Wait, the divine knowledge capsule? Didn't it fall into the Matra's hands in Port Ormos?
No wonder you speak with such confidence, Sino. But I must admit, I'm very curious. What does and why, as General Mahamatra of the Academia, are you all alone in the desert? As far as I'm aware, the other Matra have been speculating about your disappearance. Have you been given a mission that's, let's say, morally dubious? If I was the real target of your mission, what was stopping you from simply using your authority and resources to judge me within the walls of the Academia?
I should have known you'd be difficult to deal with.
You two? Ugh! What should we do, Traveler? Paimon feels like we can't trust either of them.
Well, look at you two, acting all tough and self-righteous over there.
Wait, Dia? Great! Finally, someone that we can trust! You gotta help us out here, otherwise these two are gonna start fighting!
Yeah, sure looks that way. 2 giants from the Academia duking it out once and for all. Not something you get to see every day, that's for sure. Listen, I know you academic types love to fill up your big brains with self-righteous morality and lord your empty rules and virtues over each other. But how dare you bring your petty disputes into the safe haven of Aru Village? It seems like someone's gonna have to beat some sense into your thick skulls until you finally learn to respect these grounds. Hey, did either of you hear a...
Whoa, what's going on? The wind's so strange.
Another sandstorm? What's up with these recently?
Hey! All of you, over here, quickly!
Someone's calling for us! Oh, this wind is too strong!
That sounded like Candace. Come on, you two. Jeez, are all of you Academia folks such hard work?
All right, stop yelling.
Hey, wanna play sardines with 3 people who wanna tear each other limb from limb? Sure, why not? Sounds fun. The air is so thick and heavy. Paimon can hardly keep floating anymore.
My sincere apologies, everyone. This is the home of our village chief. I will have to ask you to make do with this small room until the sandstorm dies down. Please, let me introduce myself. I am Candace, protector of Aru Village.
Our savior has come at last! Nice to meet you, Candace. The name's Paimon. Thank you so much for helping us.
There's no need to thank me. It's only right to help each other when the weather gets rough.
Wow, she's so gentle and caring, like a nice older sister.
All right. Now that we're all better acquainted, we should return to the topic at hand. As a guardian charged with the responsibility to protect my fellow villagers from harm, I was observing your conflict from afar, even before the and now that you have set foot within our village itself, it is all the more my responsibility to make absolutely sure that you pose no threat whatsoever. So please, have an honest and sincere conversation with one another, and if anyone dares to start anything again while they are under this roof, I will not hesitate to send them out for some quality time with the creatures of the sandstorm.
Oh, on second thought, Paimon may have misjudged.
And that goes for you too, Miss Dia. Do I make myself...
All right,
That's what I like to hear.
I was supposed to be a mediator, but I might have gotten a little too involved just now. Anyway, one of those two should probably start talking.
Wait, that was you trying to be a mediator?
I have nothing to hide, so there's no shame in explaining myself. While Alhaitham wasn't wrong about the other Matra not knowing my whereabouts, it's not because I've been assigned a morally dubious mission. Rather, I've chosen to...
Huh?
A little while ago, I discovered that there was data missing in the Academia's project planning and development files. What little they did report clearly did not match the project's act. As General Mahamatra, I had the responsibility and authority to request an audit. However, to my surprise, the person responsible for the erroneous data. I tried to investigate the issue myself before submitting a formal audit request, but I soon found that all leads and potential pieces of incriminating evidence. I began to realize that they were cautious of me from the very beginning. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Sage rejected my audit request as soon as the submission reached his desk. Even the power of the General Mahamatra is granted by the sages. You have no right to judge us.
So they really are
I realized then that to the Grand Sage, the Matra are nothing more than tools for the sages to assert and maintain the vows that we took, the principles that we strive to uphold. They are meaningless to the... I believed it would be wise to flee the Academia before the sages had a chance to take action against me. This way, they can no longer see nor predict my action. I will never give up on this investigation. There's no need for someone else to give me power or authority. Once I find the truth...
Sino seems to have the same goal as us. We're all investigating the sages. Plus, now that he's no longer the General Mahamatra, he somehow feels a lot less... Well, Sino, if that's your story, then why did you see Alhaitham as a target?
When I was investigating the matter in the Academia, I overheard a conversation between Alhaitham and the sages asked you to investigate a blonde-haired traveler. Do you dispute this, Alhaitham?
What?
Like many parts of the project, this assignment was undocumented. Now throw in your suspicious behavior with the Divine Knowledge Capsule, and I think we deserve an explanation.
Yes. I was indeed tasked with investigating the travel.
Alhaitham!
After all, the promised reward was so great that hardly any scholar could have refused. The sage told me, once you've completed this assignment, I can give you a glimpse of divine knowledge.
A most enticing offer.
Unfortunately, those academics don't know me at all. Their words contained one key piece of information. Namely, that divine knowledge indeed exists. That gave me all I needed to know. From my perspective, the sages are far from trustworthy. Think about it. Isn't it a little strange they're so willing to share divine knowledge with anyone, even as a reward? So, I began my own investigation following the lead of the divine knowledge capsule. In the end, I realized my wisdom in committing to this rather than collaborating with the... Had I been less guarded, I probably would have ended up like that Ain al-Ahmar mercenary, incapable of remaining sane for long enough to hold a conversation.
You mean that the sages originally planned to dispose of you, using one of those capsules that drive people insane?
I'd already given up on the assignment by then. I only told the Academia I was waiting in Port Ormos for you to appear so they wouldn't suspect anything. So it came as quite a surprise when I encountered my erstwhile target while investigating the divine knowledge capsule.
Criminals do love to talk about coincidences.
Even though I ran into the Traveler by chance, I had no intention of providing assistance to the Academia. You were the ones who decided to follow me and strike up a conversation after I left that tavern.
That's true. Al-Haytham helped us out at Caravan Rebat as well.
I'm willing to apologize, if that's worth anything to you. I took the divine knowledge capsule behind your back because I judged its existence to be a significant risk. I felt that it would be best for no one to interact with it before it had been properly studied. After all, curiosity often proves to be the most dangerous thing in this land.
You should be well aware, Scribe Al-Haytham, that curiosity can also lead you to danger and Answer me this. Did the sages share any information?
Have I not made myself clear? You and I are both distrusted by the Academia. Do you really think they would tell me anything?
Fine. Although you haven't completely proven your innocence, I won't regard you as an enemy, for now.
As you wish.
Good. I'm glad to see you two clearing up your And now you, Dia. I believe it's your turn.
Oh, sorry. Whatever the boys were talking about must have been so boring that I spaced out. My situation is pretty straightforward. My employer, Dunyarzad of the Homayani family, is friends with the Traveler and is currently recovering. I had nothing going on, so I decided to return to Aru village for a visit. I was actually looking forward to a pretty exciting time, but then I saw these two random guys in the middle of a pointless argument. It ticked me off, and things went downhill from there.
Is that all? Well, I will admit that definitely sounds like your style.
That's more like it. I missed you all so much, Candace.
Whoa! What was that sound?
No need to worry. Now that you're no longer at each other's throats, please make yourselves at home. I'll take a quick trip out.
Creatures?
Fighting in a sandstorm is not for the faint-hearted. Anyone without extensive training in these can...
Yeah, just leave them to Candace. Don't worry.
The wind's died down. That means the Candace still isn't back yet, though. Is she alright?
When you put it that way, even I'm starting to feel a little worried. Alright, let's go.
Time to go.
Oh, Candace, you're still fighting? You've been out here dealing with these creatures the entire time?
Yes. They just keep coming in waves. I've lost count of how many I've defeated. Before I realized it, even the sandstorm, it's...
Here comes another wave!
Leave this round up. It's been... I'll be sure to put on a good show. Let's go!
Blaze over!
The wind knows it. The clouds high. The birds calm. Quietly now.
Here comes another wave! When are they ever gonna let up? The creature stopped appearing. Was that the last of them?
What we fought just now was probably the aftermath of the sandstorm. So we should be safe for the time being.
Well fought, everyone. No injuries, I hope.
Huh? Who are you?
Ah, my apologies. I haven't had a chance to greet you yet. I am the chief of Aru village. Everyone usually calls me Uncle Anpu.
Sir, I am also originally from the desert, but I have not been back for some time now.
I can't say they've always been common, but recently the storms have become increased. Besides sandstorms, we also occasionally get earthquakes. According to an investigator who stayed in the village a while ago, these unusual natural...
Another effect of Irminsul's... So, Irminsul's withering causes withering zones in the forest.
Everything in the natural world is inextricably connected to Irminsul. These...
Everyone in Aru village needs to take good care of themselves. Speaking of which, why haven't I seen a single village keeper since I got here?
Village keeper? Who are they? Village...
Does your curiosity know no bounds? Village Keeper is how most of them are scholars who lost their sanity. The academia believes that their crazed mutterings may have a negative effect on the psyches of other scholars. So, they're forcibly...
Alas, that's exactly what we've been trying to investigate. One by one, the village keepers have... But no one in the village has ever seen them leave. If you're planning to stay around the village for the next few days, I'd appreciate it if you could keep...
I've had encounters with those people in the past. I'll see what I can do to help.
The Matra are the ones responsible for their exile. Now that you're no longer with them, are you trying to alleviate your guilt and atone for your past sins?
Mock me if you will, but if you are guilty, I will eliminate you, regardless of my position or I...
Oh, you're the former General Mahamatra. You must be an expert in these kinds of investigations.
Is it because you're reminded of Hypatia? Oh, these poor scholars. First they lose their sanity, is it really a good idea to tag along with Sino? You seem like you really don't trust him.
I'll be grateful for the assistance. No doubt you will do a better job than some of my former subordinates. Let's start by finding a spot to share what we know so. Although I've sent myself into exile, I'm still doing essentially the same things as before. Do you still have any questions for me before we start our investigation? One of my former subordinates told me that this title has its origins in a strange incident. The Academia has long exiled mad scholars to Aru Village. A mysterious phenomenon exists here. When mad scholars first arrive, they are as incoherent and deranged as before. But initially, the people of Aru Village greatly resented having to take in the mad scholars. Aru Village was struck by the strongest earthquake in living memory. Seeing buildings on the verge of collapse all around him, the then chief of the village was preparing to take everyone to... Suddenly, he noticed a mad scholar crouching in a corner, caressing the ground with his hands. A soft, green light radiated from him, like a divine glow against the backdrop of night. Despite the powerful tremors that ripped through the ground that night, all the houses remained upright, almost as if they had grown roots reaching deep into the ground. After that, the people of Aru Village treated the mad scholars with greater kindness, and began to refer to them.
The soft green light? A mad scholar protecting Aru Village? What do you make of it, Traveler? Paimon thinks so too. Actually, Sino, do you know if any of the mad scholars continued to wear their...
In theory, they would continue wearing them so the Academia could still monitor their activities. With that said, the main Akasha system would no longer have any interaction.
Oh, no wonder! Everything makes sense then! Add in the fact that they calmed down, it was probably Nahida who...
If you are able to draw a conclusion from this one story alone, then it appears you possess much more information than I do. So, what do you make of the story? Really? Lesser Lord Kusanali.
What? You don't believe us? Lesser Lord Kusanali was definitely using the Akasha...
No, it's not so much that I don't believe you. I'm just... Lesser Lord Kusanali, the current Dendro Archon. The Academia has always placed far greater importance on the late Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They've more or less ignored Lesser Lord Kusanali, and I've never had any reason to doubt. In addition, I've never heard any stories about Lesser Lord Kusanali and her deeds. To me...
No way! Nahida definitely exists! She's a... How should Paimon put it? She's a good Archon who's kind and...
I've spent many years interrogating criminals, so I can easily tell when someone is lying.
Good! Then you should know that we're telling the truth!
That look in your eyes. I've never seen that. How can this be? To think, our Archon has been amongst us this entire...
Alright, now it's our turn to put our skills to good use for this investigation. But easier said than done. Especially since we don't have any leads. Maybe we can start by not...
Excuse me, are you here to help me find my grandpa?
Huh?
By the sounds of it, a resident of this village.
My name is Isak. You'll help me find my grandpa?
Is your grandpa a mad scholar?
Hey, don't say that. Grandpa is just Grandpa. Why do you have to call him that?
The person you're referring to is not a local, yet you are. Why do you call him...
Grandpa is just Grandpa. I heard everything you said to the village chief.
Please, you gotta take me with you. I want to find my grandpa. I swear I'll help.
Ah, so you're the one who was eavesdropping on us around the village chief's house. I was planning to go out and take care of whoever it was, but I had a vague feeling that they didn't harbor any ill intent.
Whoa. Hatham wasn't kidding about Matra having sharp senses. Sino, he's just a kid. All he wants is to find his grandpa. Sorry. I was only listening in because I wanted to know where Grandpa went. Honest. If you don't believe me, you can ask Miss Candace.
All right. But first, let's confirm the facts with Candace.
Sino is super vigilant. Is this what all the Matra are like?
Ah, you're back already.
We just wanted to confirm something with you.
I had a feeling he'd go looking for you.
Huh? You knew this would happen?
Yes. Although he tried his best to stay hidden, I still noticed him eavesdropping outside the window. He really wants to get his grandfather back. Isak's parents were both Aramite mercenaries who rarely returned to the village after finding employment in the city. He was raised by his grandfather. Unfortunately, it was only a few years before his grandpa passed away. Isak was still very young at the time, so various family... Later, an elderly mad scholar arrived at the village. Isak thought the scholar bore a striking resemblance to his grandfather, and thus often spied on the man. However, the scholar was unkempt in appearance and incoherent in speech. Although Isak referred to the man as his grandpa, he was afraid and didn't dare to approach. One summer night, the oft mumbling and bumbling grandpa suddenly calmed down and seemed to become more lucid. He even noticed. So Grandpa walked up to Isak and patted him on the head. He even took Isak to the entrance of the village, where he patiently taught the boy the names of the stars, and accompanied Isak until he fell asleep. The next morning, Isak woke up and wanted to go find his grandpa again, only to realize his grandpa no longer recognized him. It's said that those who saw the scholar claimed he no longer appeared to be crazy, but appeared to be living in his own world, almost as if he were sleepwalking. Isak was thrilled that his grandpa was able to find peace, and would follow him all the time, asking him things like, "Grandpa, want me to take you somewhere fun?" Or, "Grandpa, could you tell me stories about the star?"
All this somehow just makes Paimon feel really sad. It seems like they both
Perhaps. Nearly everyone who lives in the desert has some form of hardship or regret. But even so, we must still continue. It's also my reason for fighting. I must continue to protect.
Maybe the people have always had a considerate god watching over them.
Huh? What did you...
No, nothing. As long as Isak keeps his word and doesn't get in our way...
Perhaps you are more compassionate than I gave you credit for. Please accept my thanks on each...
Hey, Isak! Oh, it's you guys! We've cleared everything up! Really? Wow! Yeah!
All right.
Excuse me, did you happen to see where the missing scholars went?
You mean the village keepers? Oh, when I
was eating dinner the other day, I saw one of them by the side of the road, muttering away and eating mushrooms and tree roots. They shouldn't go around eating that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Anything else?
The scholars that have gone missing. Have you seen...
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes.
Don't change the subject.
Right. You were asking about the mad scholars. I think it's been a few days since I last saw them. I usually go to bed pretty early, so I'm not too familiar with... But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them. Even though they act a little strange, they've helped me in the past. If it weren't for them, my house would have...
Do you also think Grandpa and the...
Grandpa? Oh, hello there. It still feels pretty surreal now that I... Well, whatever the case...
Gotcha!
This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer. There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it. This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer. There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it. Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth. This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer. Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth. There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it. This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer. Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth. This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer. There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it. This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Sir, have you seen my grandpa?
Oh, well, if it isn't Isak. Oh, your grandpa, huh? It's the last time I saw him, he was spacing out by the road as usual. I went and asked him if he'd like any of the food I had prepared, despite my wife's protests. Like many people, she's really quite terrified of them. And speaking of my wife, she's still always complaining about how I don't make enough mora. It might explain why she's always mad.
Oh, thank you.
It was nothing. You're looking for him, right? Did he go for a walk and get lost?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's no good. Well, once you found him, come by my place again and I'll cook a little something. I've known you since you were very young. So as far as I'm concerned, you're family. Please feel free to come by.
Wow, what a nice guy!
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Huh? Don't say anything for now. Let's head over there. Stay cool. Listen, see if you can make out what they're...
Have you heard? The mighty Scarlet King, the sovereign of our faith, will soon return to this world.
Yes, of course I have. The Scarlet King is the one and only true ruler of this land. I've never believed in any other gods. Still, you say he's coming back, but it sure doesn't feel like life's about to change around here.
Haven't you noticed? The village has been getting more deranged scholars than ever. Delavar was saying that many people also went insane just before the fall of the Scarlet King civilization in ancient times. We don't quite know why, but it seems like there's some sort of connection between insanity and the Scar... Isn't it a sign of the Scarlet King's power that all the mad scholars have disappeared? If you ask me, they must have been chosen as the final sacrifice for the Scarlet King's resurrection.
Huh. Now that you say it, that does make some sense. Does this mean our lives are...
Exactly. Those city folks will get what's coming to them.
Now, repeat everything you've just said from the very beginning.
Huh?
Who are you?
My patience is running thin. You heard what I asked.
Yeah! Bro, this guy's something else. Just look at his eyes. One wrong move, and he's gonna flay us alive.
Let's not get on his bad side, okay? I am no match for this guy.
Oh, okay, good sir. What is it you would like to know?
Tell me about the Scarlet King's resurrection.
Well, I only know a few things from hearsay. I went for a drink the other day and heard others talking about a rumor that the madmen will disappear, and that the Scarlet King will return to this land.
Hey, go on.
It's true. It's all true, sir. We desert folk have had more than enough of those people at the academia. They keep sending us all their mad scholars and won't let us have a good life. Would you want to live like this if you were in our place? The radicals were even more thrilled than me when they heard the news. We're all praying for the Scarlet King's speedy return. Delavar also said that once the Scarlet King returns to our side, it's only a matter of time before we conquer the land on the other side of the wall. They're all willing to serve under the Scarlet King and fight.
Is that so?
Seems like he still wants to know more. Keep talking.
Got it. At first, I told myself it was just the drink talking, but then all the mad scholars vanished without a trace, just as the rumors said. Please don't beat me up just for mentioning these rumors. If I'm guilty, then everyone else around here is also guilty. I'm just...
The people here really like the Scarlet King, but dislike the Dendro Archon.
Where is this radical person you talked about?
I haven't run into him over the past few days, so he probably hasn't been around the village. What if...
No, not at all. We wouldn't dare lie to you. He's really not here right now.
Sounds like you're not too close with the radicals.
No, of course not. All we know are their names.
I have many ways to stop you from talking. And many others to stop you from sending warning messages. So you'd best just stay home and hope I don't hear of you trying to contact anybody. Don't do anything until I've gotten to the bottom of this. Try something foolish, and even Candace won't be able to protect you.
Yes, got it. We'll do just as...
That scared Paimon half to death. Sino is pretty terrifying. He didn't try to reassure us at all. It's like he's used to hearing that. Oh, Paimon bets lots of people have told him that before.
I heard that.
Sorry.
It's part of being a Matra. The rumor we heard just now seems like a strong lead. But we need to check a few more places. Very well.
Isak!
I'm here.
Where's your grandpa's house?
Well, I can take you there.
Join the Aerolites.
Grandpa? Oh, he likes to be alone. Sometimes he stares at the sky in a daze, and other times he just pokes at the ground with his fingers. Every now and then, he yells out at the top of his lungs, so a lot of people are really scared of him. But he's a good person, really. I know he is. I swear, he's just like my real grandpa. This is where Grandpa usually stayed.
There sure isn't much here.
No.
Incense? Please don't say it's the same one as before. But are you okay? Are you getting...
There's a scent that you can sense, but I can't.
A certain traveler here once passed out from that smell. Thankfully, Tainari saved the day. And then he gave us a long lecture to...
So, you know...
Huh? You know him too? Are you two friends?
Yes. Now that I concentrate...
Wait, surely Tainari didn't lecture you.
No. No need. Did you first encounter this scent at Tainari's house? In the forest. From a scholar.
We're way behind schedule.
What are you looking for, Sino?
Here it is. Take a look right here. Although the traces have been completely buried in the sand, there are footprints here. From the size and shape, they belong to an adult male. This pattern is a common one from this area. The scent is quite faint, but still extant. The footprints head in the direction of the...
But who would come looking for Grandpa?
We'd have to ask whoever lured him away with the incense.
Huh? So you can lure someone away with just a scent? Hey! What's wrong with liking good food? Everyone...
Exactly. Most scholars are fond of incense, since the smell supposedly helps them clear their minds and discover new knowledge. Even deep within the clutches of madness, they still yearn for their knowledge-seeking days. And
No, Grandpa. So, someone's taking advantage of their weakness? Huh. Still, why would anyone want to abduct all the scholars? Are the rumors really true? Could the disappearance of all the mad scholars have something to do with the...
it's highly likely.
Please, you have to save my grandpa. Grandpa's never done anything wrong.
Sounds like we'd better help get him back. Don't you worry, Isak. We won't let who...
Let's head to Aru Village and inform Candace and the others about what we learned here.
Right. The darker fabric definitely looks a lot...
We're back, Candace! We've got a lot to tell you.
Ah, welcome back.
Oh, Diaz!
You bet.
Reasonably.
We haven't...
Huh. I saw him around the village entrance earlier and...
Did you find out anything useful? I see. So...
The resurrection of the Scarlet King? First I've heard of it. Far as I know, the kind of incense you just mentioned is only popular beyond the wall. Scholars are fond of it, but as you can see, there aren't many scholars still studying around these parts. Not to mention making incense is a labor-intensive process. You won't see anybody in the desert. It seems someone from beyond the wall must have been supporting this.
Makes sense.
So what should we do then? Do we go...
If it was any other day, that would be your next logical step. But today, you've got me on your team, so you get an extra tip. Didn't you say that the villager got his news from the tavern? Well, I also like to drink at the tavern, so I know a thing or two about these radicals he meant.
If Paimon remembers correctly, the leader of the radicals is some...
Ah, yeah. Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, Engur, the wide-eyed butcher, and Jabari, the duck-tailed bearded crook. The whole lot of them are known around these... These guys have one thing in common, and that's being broke. The rougher life gets, the more they want to believe in the Scarlet King. Way they see it, the Scarlet King's resurrection is their only chance at overthrowing the Academia. Throwing all of Sumeru into chaos is the only way to change the way of life here in the desert. Anyway, that's my guess why they've chosen to become radicals.
Tia! You're amazing! You really know this place
No merc can afford to slack off on gathering intelligence. Every mora I've spent in the tavern has been a valuable investment.
Let's head out.
Now hold on, you're staying right here, Simon.
Why?
Aru Village is not a big place. Outsiders stand out here like a sore thumb. I'd bet word about you has already gotten out. The desert is unforgiving, so the way of life here is also a lot tougher than on the outside of the wall. You survive on making connections out here. Compared to you, mercs like me are just third-rate amateurs. I've got no actual fighting skills to speak of. But that also makes it a whole lot easier for me to gain the locals' trust. I need to go around and ask some questions, but it'll be difficult if you're with me.
Fine.
Good. Then we've got a plan. The Traveler and Paimon will go to Caravan Rebat with me, and we'll try our best to figure out where the mad scholars have been taken. Sino, you'll have to stay in the village and continue investigating.
All right! Sounds like a plan!
Sounds like you're starting to get familiar with the area.
Paimon's amazed every time we see the wall of Samiel. How can a wall this tall even exist?
I know what you mean. I had the same question every time I walked this way when I was a kid. Also, why is this high wall here? And can a wall really block sandstorms? It was only after I grew up that I realized the wall of Samiel isn't just there to keep out the sandstorms. It serves a more important purpose. Sumeru is run by wise and mighty sages. To them, us desert dwellers are nothing but tools that can be... We're cheap labor, like livestock, but easier to control. Nothing more. Even if a child from the desert got the chance to obtain an Akasha terminal, almost all their requests for knowledge would be denied. The academia believes we're underserving. Geniuses like Sataria are 1 in a million. The other children never get a single chance to try and rewrite their fate. Even though the academia knows very well that we're humans, just as they are.
That's terrible.
I would tear down this wall with my own hands if I could.
Hey, Dia. You're not thinking about doing anything...
No, not at all. This place just gets me thinking, that's all. Besides, we're here to procure information, aren't we?
Yep, we gotta catch those...
Shh. Caravan Rebot is crawling with people, so be careful what you say. We don't want anyone to find out what... Our mission started the moment we arrived here. Let's go check out the tavern. Maybe we'll find... Just our luck. None of them are here today.
You mean, you don't see anyone you...
Dia, is that you? What a coincidence. You here for a drink too?
Zaki. Fine.
Oh, and who do you have with you here? Guests from another land? Hello, hello. I'm Zaki. Dia's, how would you...
We've had drinks together a few times. Anyway, as far as my friends here, they aren't too shabby, are they? You rarely see any Outlanders so friendly and respectful.
Absolutely. Much better than those people on the other side of the wall. So, Dia.
Yeah. Have you seen Enger, Delavar, or Jabari recently?
Of course I have. Matter of fact, we were all here drinking together.
I've got a spice trading deal from another nation. I thought maybe Delavar and his friends might be interested. Know where I could find him?
Ah, how thoughtful of you. Then I assume you also know that Delavar's been having a hard time making ends meet these days, so you came here to help him out?
Hey, keep it down. Let's just say I prefer to keep this deal a secret. Y'all at Caravan Rebot are like family. If there's more to be made, why not do it together? Besides, Delavar and his friends have...
Yes, how considerate of you. Delavar's my friend too, so of course I can take you to him. Come with me.
Are we there yet?
Yep.
This place is practically deserted. What are they doing in a place like this?
Why don't you take a guess? Go on. A wild stab in the dark.
Oh no! It's an ambush!
What's this all about, Zaki?
Come on, Dia. You really think we didn't hear about what you said back in Aru village? The boys have kept a close eye on you from the moment you set foot there. Not only do I know that you're looking for Delavar, I also know that you've teamed up with people from the Academia to look for the missing scholars.
So, you've been watching us from the very beginning?
Uh-oh. Paimon knew leaving Sino behind was a mistake!
And you left the strongest one in the village, didn't you? Who do you think you are? You really thought we'd fall for your little business deal?
So you and Delavar have been partners all along.
Dia, I guess it's only natural for a traveling mercenary like you to be out of the loop. Those of us who hang around the tavern have strong... But you got one thing right. We're all looking forward to an uprising in Sumeru. There's nothing more we'd like to see than the desert folk overthrowing the Academia.
If that's the case, then I'm sure Delavar wouldn't miss a second of it.
I'll be honest with you. If it weren't for what you said in the village, your little monologue about the Wall of Samiel would have convinced me that you're one of us.
Delavar. And Edgar, you're here too, huh?
Long time no see, Miss Mercenary. You should have known the traitors are what us followers of the Scarlet King despise.
Dia, I thought that you, a fellow desert dweller, would understand that the Scarlet King is greater than the Dendro Archon. Little did I know, you don't deserve to join us.
Yeah, gee, what a missed opportunity. Adopting radical views and kidnapping innocent scholars, all because of some baseless rumors. Anything else I missed?
See? There you have it. Mercenaries are just a bunch of faithless scum with only one thing on their minds. Mora. Pathetic.
You're not wrong. Mercenaries are driven by Mora, and my faith lies with whoever's paying me. As long as there's a profit to be made, anyone can become my friend.
Enough talking! Get him!
Just as I expected. Let's teach him a lesson, traveler.
Following orders.
New punching bag.
Into the wind.
Gotcha! Take my... Impossible!
So, what do you think about your meticulous network now, Zaki? How did you say it? It's only natural for a traveling mercenary like me to be out of the loop. I'm guessing your informant told you that I'm just an incompetent merc with no real fighting skills, correct? I mean, that... And of course you would believe everything he reported. The only thing you know about me is that I'm a mercenary, but you've never seen me in action. Even though you heard we went to handle monsters together, you believed that Candace was the only one doing all the real fight. That so-called Flame Mane is just a fraud. She admitted it herself. She just uses her connection. That's what you thought, right?
Ugh. You lied in the village because you figured that we'd have people watching you.
And you were stupid enough to fall for it. I figured as much the first time we drank together. You all thought you were so smart. Pathetic. Okay, that should be all of them.
Whoa! So you've been planning this since we were in Aru Village?
No task can be done without preparation. I just happened to notice a couple suspicious-looking people while you...
Oh, but instead of catching them right away, you let them report back.
Those two who were snooping around were just a couple small fries. If we want to get the real catch, we have to be patient and give it some time.
Oh, you mean the funny name she mentioned back in Uncle Ampu's house? The wide-eyed butcher, scar-riddled bandit?
That's just a bunch of drunk talk. Edgar and Delavar like to talk themselves up when they're drinking. Edgar, the wide-eyed butcher, and Delavar, the scar-riddled bandit, are the nicknames they came up with for themselves. Alcohol has a way of making people share what they really think. So Edgar and Delavar are always rambling in the tavern about how the Scarlet King is a superior deity.
What about Zaki?
He's just a numbskull who fell right into our trap. Zaki was probably the best hidden of them all. My initial plan was to find Delavar first, and then try to track him down. That's what you wanted to ask when we were at Uncle Anpu's house, right? Jabari is one of the villagers you talked to. You know, the one who wanted to treat Isak and his grandpa to some food.
Wait, so he's a radical too?
No, he isn't. I just needed to tack on a random villager name to make the eavesdropper think that I was making some wild guesses based on my impressions.
Wow!
Ah, you're too kind. It was straight from the usual playbook, if I'm honest.
So, that thing you were saying before, is it really true?
Hmm? About what?
About how mercenaries only care about Mora.
Does that bother you? What makes you so sure?
Dia, do you dislike the Dendro Archon like the other
You two are pretty sharp. No, I don't have anything against the Dendro Archon. I've heard a lot of nice things about the Lesser Lord from Dunyarzad. I can understand her devotion and gratitude. Dunyarzad's just an ordinary person. There's no way a god would... I've begun to realize that the sages are behind everything that's happened recently. The radicals' blind belief in the Scarlet King, making the Dendro Archon out to be an enemy. But I see through it all. And unlike them, I can never be hostile towards anyone who's never done anything.
Dia.
Anyway, looks like we're done with business here. This should be all of them. I'll let you take it from here.
All right.
Candace, do you need...
Candace will be okay on her own. She's been guarding Aru village for quite...
While I'm questioning them.
I'll meet you back here tomorrow morning, traveler. As for these idiots, let's just hope they live.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms. You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms.
This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
Earthquakes and sandstorms. You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade. It is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms. You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms.
There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them,
You need to
if you
watch
wish
out
to
for
hear
any
it.
signs of earthquakes and sandstorms. You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms. You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms. You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade. It is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms. You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms. You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms. You need to watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms.
watch out for any signs of earthquakes and sandstorms.
This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer. There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it. Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth. There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it. This scenery is wonderful. Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer. Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home. This blade, it is the last link I have to the land of my birth. There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
Right on time. We'll know any mo-
Paimon's been wondering. You seem to know Candace pretty well. Have you been friends?
We've known each other for some time now. She's a pretty interesting person. Even though she's an extremely strong warrior, she never misuses her powers against others.
Oh, Paimon knows what you mean. Like a lot of martial artists say, never take the fight outside the ring.
Yep, I guess you can put it that way. It takes strong convictions to be as dedicated as she is, and shoulder that kind of responsibility. Us mercs, on the other hand, we pretty much live from one day to the next.
Well, Paimon thinks you're great, too.
Really? Thanks for that.
Oh, Sino's here, and he's...
Yes, I was here yesterday to help out a little.
To help out? By doing what?
Sharing some interrogation techniques.
Oh, you mean you taught Candace some more...
Right.
Come on in, everyone.
Come on, let's go inside.
Candace, where... Whoa, you look furious.
Do I?
Oh, there's no mask that can hide true bloodlust. Cover up your eyes, and it'll still show itself at the...
Perhaps I need to work on my composure. Still, it's perfectly understandable why I'm angry. I'm sure everyone present would have...
Yes! Please, don't beat us anymore.
Well, looks like Sino taught her well.
You fear death yourselves, yet you do not hesitate to place the lives of others at risk. The ones you call mad scholars are known to us as the Village Keepers. They are vital members of our community, and some even count them as family. You come here, to my village, and you treat my people as nothing more than stepping stones.
Mercy! Please, have mercy!
You've made your bed.
We may both be desert dwellers, but there is one thing that I understand better than you. The resurrection of the Scarlet King will only result in war. In war, the people of Aru Village care little about which god is in power. Life may be tough and tiring, but we wish to preserve our way of life. A war would only cause us to lose all that we have. And that is not a responsibility that you can afford to...
We understand. We're sorry. I'll tell you everything I know. Please, just let us go.
I'm listening.
You might not believe this, but it wasn't us who came up with this idea. Someone was spreading rumors in the tavern. That's how we ended up hearing about the Scarlet King. Some mystery man told us that mad scholars will make the perfect sacrifice to usher in the Scarlet King's resurrection. They give their lives, and we can get anything we wish for.
They're called Village Keepers. Slip up again, and you'll regret it.
Yes, sorry. It was all that mystery man's doing. He told us to spread word about the Scarlet King's resurrection and talked us into helping him. In return, he said he'll help facilitate the resurrection process. I'm not sure.
That's one.
Huh? One what?
Strike. You get a total of 3. Then, you die by my...
Wait, I'm telling the truth. We don't know anything. It was all him.
2.
He got us to lure them out of their houses in the night with some kind of incense. We take them to a junction outside the village. Then the mystery guy takes them from there. You gotta believe me, please. I'm telling the truth, I swear. It's just...
That was indeed the truth. Traveler, go on.
You have to believe me. If I knew that, I would have told you his name right away. I'm not risking another beating to keep his secrets. No way. That guy, he wears a cloak, and he's always careful to cover his face. He calls himself the Scarlet King's envoy.
I believe I may know what's going on.
Uncle Anpu.
Smooth.
Okay, speak.
If my suspicions are correct, this mystery man they speak of... Some time ago, people from the academia attempted to take the village keepers away. I refused, insisting that they are part... It strikes me now that this secretive character shares...
Which means it's highly likely that the academia was purposely spreading a false rumor to trick the radicals into delivering the village keepers right into their hands. They were the ones who brought them here to begin with. Now they're trying to take them back.
Not the academia again.
Just as I thought. But what could they want with the village keeper?
People are nothing but tools in the eyes of the academia. A change in their plans likely means they found another way to exploit the scholars. Regardless, our top priority now is locating the village keeper.
You're right. Isak is still waiting for news on his grandpa.
Time to go. Let's leave the village and try to track them down.
Yes. Pack up and get ready to leave.
You got it. Candace, I'll let you deal with the radicals. Leave everything outside the village to us.
All right.
Let's meet back here once everyone's ready. Let's get some food in us and then we'll... Whoa! Where did you come from?
Well, as you can see, I am merely sitting here and reviewing what we have deduced that—
You were gone for ages! And now you're suddenly sitting here musing to yourself? Hey, what's with the silence?
You never think things through before asking questions. I'm giving you some time to make up for that.
Paimon's so mad! Paimon's gonna give you an ugly nickname! There's just nothing super obvious to pick with this guy. It makes it so...
Well, you've heard nothing to suggest I left this whole time. So clearly, I stayed in the village to invest— Anyway, you plan to leave Aru village and keep searching for the truth of this matter.
Yep. We're not gonna find out anything more by staying here. Enough with the silent treatment!
No. I'm just surprised that you decided to team up with him.
All Hatham. You haven't helped us out at all ever since we arrived at Aru village. Bold of you to question our choices.
Yeah, you're all talk!
While you were investigating, I had my own work to do, which I've now finished.
Really? Paimon doesn't believe you.
To be honest, we aren't really a team, so I have no obligation to inform you of my whereabouts. Not to mention that going separate ways allowed me to find some important information that you all had missed.
Huh? Right here in the...
Correct.
What did you learn?
I'm going to take you to someone. But, before that,
What does that mean?
How do you think the residents of Aru village feel about what we're doing? In other words, do you truly believe every single word the villagers tell us?
You mean, some of them lied to us?
Hiding the truth does not necessarily equate to lying. Again, these people have their reasons. Remember what Candace said? Most people in Aru village don't necessarily care which deity is in charge of Sumeru. That's because whether the Scarlet King or the Dendro Archon has power is of... By contrast, the perils of their daily lives are ever-present concerns. They won't simply share everything they know with you without good reason. That's why you believed there was no further information to be found in this village. Glad you're following along. Among those you have talked to, there's someone who was consciously keeping you out of the loop. In fact, she's been observing your every move since you arrived. The reason being, to someone who only wants to live their life in peace, any external factors...
Those eyes. Those fierce eyes.
Don't change.
It's quite obvious that she's intimidated by Sino's authority and strength.
Right. You were asking about the
She corrected herself mid-sentence because she's aware that there are Scarlet King fanatics in the village. If she sounds too friendly towards the village keepers, she could easily make herself the Radicals' next target.
I think it's been a few days since I last saw them.
Remember? She made a point of denying her involvement in anything that occurs at...
But honestly, I feel quite sympathetic towards them.
After speaking to the village chief, it became clear that the village keepers had protected Aru village at night. In other words, the young miss was very much awake during that time.
Then why would she lie?
By getting involved with an outsider, she risks drawing unwanted attention to herself. As for why she might be so wary about all this, maybe you should ask her.
I'll pass on this one. You said that she is afraid of me. If so, it's best if I stay out.
We're on it!
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier...
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but how can I make sure...
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify...
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers. You go on. Earn her...
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler? Hi, Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of the Scarlet King can truly change Sumeru for the better? Why's that? That's very similar to what Miss Candace says. I know you two are friends. That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though I do have... Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get...
Yeah! We came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we aren't really residents of any one nation. But even so, we've met lots of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
I want to trust you. My apologies for posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Oh, Hatham told us you have your reasons. It's okay.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru. Some believe in the Dendro Archon, while others believe in the Scarlet King. I don't belong to either side.
Speaking of which, the Radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. I'll always be suspected of having ulterior motives. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. All I want is to live my life in peace. And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare—
You can tell them. I'm sure he'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint. It used to be louder and more frequent. But ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often. And when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
There's really nothing around these parts. except for an old hospital not far from the village.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.